Hello, welcome back to the Japan Game Junk podcast, and very pleased today for the audio podcast is the episode number 47, and 47 is the most fantastic number there is. So, I'm also happy to introduce a store that doesn't get as much respect with the, unknowing retro game hunter in Akihabara. And this is a store visited on June the 3rd of 2024. It is called Mandarake, and it's kind of unassuming for people looking for games, because on the first floor it looks like it just has in the window old toys, especially, old tin toys, and really old board games and stuff like that. But it's a store that has pretty much everything from music and movies to adult stuff for you people who like to pleasure yourselves, to, idle stuff, character goods, basically everything. And on the, I believe it's the 7th floor, lots and lots of game stuff, especially retro game stuff. And it's a place where you can find a deal or two and some treasures and such, and I indeed could find one this day, and I'll be going back there soon to continue with that bounty, I hope. So, with that, let me explain a bit about the store itself. It is got a bit of everything. They just buy your old stuff and sell it off, and there's some stuff there that's incredibly rare as well. So, not so rare and not the best price, but for people who missed out on it, they have a little pack with every Game Gear Micro. If you recall, these ones that were almost too small to play. I think I was okay with mine when I got mine pre-ordered and delivered, and I don't have the whole pack, but they sell all four of them, so the blue, red, yellow, and black versions. I only have the blue one myself, but also the little big window that you can put on the screen to make it bigger, and I do indeed have a fairly popular short video on YouTube about that, showing that off. But yeah, it's they were little fun things to collect. If you had bought them when they first came out, the whole pack would have run about maybe a little over 20,000 yen, and here they're being sold for 33,000 yen for the pack, and that's about what it is for the full boxed versions nowadays. But paying less money for things that are a bit more rare, you can get the store demo versions of these Neo Geo Pocket games, which they have the very plain stickers on them, only with the title, and they're meant for testing purposes only. But yeah, for your Neo Geo Pocket. So, Neo Cherry Master, a slot game, 13,200 yen. Or King of Fighters R2, 18,700 yen. Or King of Fighters R2 color. This one is I don't know if there's any difference, but this one has a blue cover, and the other one, the green one, has a green cover. And I'm sorry, no, the green one was as I'm looking now, the perfect version. I don't know if there's a big difference with that, with the these demo cartridges. But anyway, the one that is the blue cover, which is not the perfect version, is 16,500 yen. And if I had all the money in the world to throw away, I would get those, because they are in fact rare. Anyway, next up is a game I'd never even known existed, but also for the Neo Geo Pocket Color. Fully in-boxed, I'm guessing it's in great condition. Rockman, so Mega Man, Battle Fighters. Some sort of fighting game with the Mega Man characters for the Neo Geo Pocket Color from Capcom. Complete in box, 48,400 yen. Wow. Bit pricey there, but can't say it's too expensive, because I've never seen it anywhere else. Also, for a CD, just a music CD, it's a game soundtrack of Sonic X. Not entirely sure I remember that game specifically. Maybe it was, some sort of animation. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, this game soundtrack, 9,000 yen for a CD, a compact disc, a standard sized compact disc music CD. 9,000 yen. Not even with the Obi strip. One thing that I was very kind of wistful to see was a WonderSwan game called Uzumaki. which is based on a comic series. It's kind of a horror game. Complete in box with, decent condition. But it says it smells like tobacco, so maybe the previous owner was a smoker. But yeah, I bought this complete in box without the smoke smell from a used shop in Kyoto when I lived there back in 2003. And there it was probably about 1,000 yen. Here it's being sold for 29,780 yen. Wow. Makes me wish I hadn't sold it off before moving back to the US after my college study. One thing that I thought was actually pretty cheap was a purple Game Boy Pocket camera. Now you can get these cheaply if you look around, but this one was in box with the manual. It had pretty much everything with it, and I haven't seen a complete one very cheaply. And this was 5,000 yen, so I'd say it's you could do worse for that. Something I'd never seen before, and that was a boxed Vectrex game in Japan. Now, it's not in Japanese. It looks like it's all English writing, so I'm guessing it was an import way back when, but still, a Vectrex game. I've seen one Vectrex system by itself at a hard-off store with no game to go along with it, and that was being sold for about 120,000 yen, and with no game, it's kind of rough, so you might go here to the Mandarake and pick up this one game, Cosmic Chasm, for 19,800 yen. But, if you gotta have it, you gotta have it, right? Let's see. Next up was kind of a weird game I saw for Game Boy Color. A Daffy Duck game. Complete in box. Able to play on either the Game Boy or the Game Boy Color. Not the best condition. It says that the manual and the box are in C rank condition, not A or B, so might have some creases there or whatever. But the game itself, with Daffy Duck looking suspicious on the cover, 99,000 yen. Kind of crazy. I was also very happy to see some Playdia games, Bandai Playdia games, which I had never seen before. And not super extreme. Now, of course, if you ever played a Bandai Playdia, then you know that the games themselves are not exactly games. Because you play them like on a TV remote control, and it's like you select things on a menu and kind of watch things to happen. So, for things like a little encyclopedia kind of thing or whatever, it's pretty good. But, at the very most, you get like move left, move right. Think Dragon's Lair, but even with less game response. So, yeah, that's not so great as far as gameplay goes. But, it's for the little kids just to play around on their TV. So there was a Gundam game. A Gundam kind of and on the front it says, "We love the brave fighters forever. The soul of justice is Iron Body." And I have to agree. Hope that they can do well fighting for justice, and for only 4,400 yen. So a game that, I almost bought, and if it's still there when I go back, I will get it, is Pop Flamer for the SC3000 system, which of course I can play on the Mark III. It's kind of a rarer game, and it was being sold for only 1,430 yen, but it said Itami Dai, so lots of damage to it. Lots of, harshness, pain to it. So, I was scared to buy it, in case it would just be complete junk and wouldn't work. And if I want to do that, I will get something for like 100 yen or something. But I figured I do want to try something just to see if it will work, so for a bit less money, for 800 yen, I thought if I get this, then I can come back to the store and get lots of these Itami Dai games, these so quote-unquote damaged games. And indeed, I did get a Mark III game for only 800 yen, and trying to remember, Thunderblade, that's right. And I did in fact play it, and it did work, and I did make a video on it. But yeah, I was happy to see for the price that it did work, so I will in fact go back. Something I thought was kind of interesting for Xbox 360, Dracula, Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2 being sold for 24,200 yen. I always thought this was kind of a super cheap game and not really so special, so yeah. I mean, I'm sure I have it, and I'm just surprised by the high cost there. And then there were some 3DO games that I thought were kind of interesting. One was the first one I remember that was actually published by Capcom. It's a mahjong game, Jisen Mahjong, and I don't know if it's good or whatever, but it was being sold for 28,000 yen. And just below that for 3DO was a game that's actually, fairly decent, and that's Captain Quasar, 25,300 yeners for that. They also had some kind of rare things there. So Bomberman 93 special version for the PC Engine, the HuCard game, 66,000 yen. I don't know why that's so much. And what I really don't know why it's so much is PC Genjin 3, so that's Bonk 3. Oh, I see. It is only the trial version, the demo version, not for sale. That's 39,600 yen, because, yeah, the actual game itself, the normal one, is not nearly that price usually. But yeah, there's lots of fun stuff there. It's got some deals too. And yes, Mandarake in the, so it's, if you're in Akihabara, it's kind of, if you were to leave Super Potato and you go down that street in front of you, it's there on the right. But yeah, it's definitely worth seeing. The only thing is that the waiting for the elevator is kind of rough. So you definitely want to get the elevator to go up to the top floor or to the highest floor you want to go, and then you'll be going down the stairs after that. So yeah, please enjoy Mandarake. Much, much better than, for example, Super Potato for your enjoyment of finding rare stuff and deals. I didn't mention it, but they also had a very big selection of Pioneer Laser Active big Laserdisc software, which is some of the most expensive games you can find as a collector, not just the expensive system, but the games as well. And they had quite a few there as well that could be purchased if you actually had to have some, at about the same price you can find anywhere else. So a dedicated place for your Laserdisc Laser Active games. There's also lots of regular old Laserdiscs too, but that's not really game related. So with that, I will bid you adieu, and hope you can enjoy your time in Akihabara and take your time to visit the stores that are actually a decent visit and not just the ones that are so hyped. Thanks so much for your wonderful attention, and have a wonderful day.